In this video, we're going to explore what the reincarnation trap truly is, not just in theory, but in application, how it operates, how it's maintained, and how you can finally break free from it. Reincarnation is not just a religious belief or a philosophical idea. It's a reoccurring spiritual phenomenon that has been extensively documented across cultures, across time, and even scientific investigation. Dr. Ian Stevenson, who was a psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, dedicated over 4 decades to investigating over 2,500 cases of children who claimed to remember past lives. Many of these children were able to recall specific names, locations, and personal details in histories that were later verified through independent investigation. And this shows us that these weren't just vague spiritual impressions, they were concrete details that challenge our understanding of linear time, life, and death. But even beyond the clinical, the belief in the soul's return is found in nearly every major spiritual tradition. Hinduism and Buddhism both center their spiritual progress on cycles of rebirth. Indigenous African, Native American, and Amazonian traditions tell us about souls traveling across realms and returning through bloodlines. And early Gnostic Christians taught that the soul passed through different layers of reality and that it was often hijacked by false rulers who they called archons, who worked to keep the soul trapped in cycles of incarnation. In all of these systems and beliefs, reincarnation is not questioned, it is just assumed. Then the next question becomes, why does it happen and who benefits from it? First of all, Western religion doesn't believe in reincarnation at all, which, is fine. But that potentially puts a lot of souls spiritually at a massive disadvantage. In Eastern religions and in the New Age, we are told that death is a type of freedom and that we will be welcomed by loved ones and shown a beautiful bright light and invited to rest before rejoining the next cycle of life. But what if that entire process of the light, the guides, the life review is part of a larger trap? In this video, I'll be breaking down what many refer to as the reincarnation trap or the soul trap, which is a complex, multidimensional mechanism that is designed to hijack the natural process of death and redirect the soul away from true base reality and back into another lifetime on Earth. This might be one of the most important videos you'll ever watch because the information that I'm about to share with you has been actively buried, mocked, and deliberately misinterpreted because it challenges a system that depends on your spiritual amnesia to survive. If you're new here, I need you to subscribe and I need everybody to like this video. But more importantly, if you want to go beyond what platforms like YouTube will allow me to say, then I invite you to have a look at my brand new official website, where I will be posting my most unfiltered work without censorship or compromise. Patreon and YouTube membership are available too, and you'll also find loads of deep dive videos over there. Let's start with the moment of death, which is the supposed threshold between freedom and earthly incarnation. Across many near-death accounts, people talk about being drawn towards a bright white light, and they say that it feels familiar, and often a deceased loved one or a religious figure appears urging them forward into another life on Earth. But what if that familiar figure, whether it is Jesus or Krishna or your grandmother, is a projection from your own subconscious that has been co-opted by external forces to manipulate you through emotion? This is exactly what many ancient Gnostic texts warned about. In the hypostasis of the archons, it describes how non-human rulers place barriers between the soul and true divinity. These rulers or archons mimic spiritual beings to keep the soul within their control. Many ancient mystics and modern scientists have expanded on this idea, and they tell us that what we experience as life is a holographic simulation and a false layer of reality controlled by non-human entities. And these beings operate through control systems like religion, media, the politics of the world, and the afterlife. And according to this view, after death, souls are intercepted and they are shown artificial light tunnels, and they are manipulated with guilt-based life reviews and emotionally coerced into choosing to return to Earth under the illusion of spiritual growth or karmic duty. But the detail that these entities leave out is that the Earth game is rigged. In New Age spiritual spaces, especially, we're told that the Earth is a school and a training ground where the soul can learn and evolve. But think about it. If every time you enter, your memory is wiped, and every time you begin, you forget everything that you've learned before, how could it possibly be a school? And how could you possibly evolve? Imagine going to a school and trying to learn everything, but by the end of the year, your memory gets wiped. How would you ever progress? No real school would erase your memory, and no real teacher would blindfold you before a test and watch you fail and call it progress. To do that would be a manipulation and a system that isn't designed for learning, but for looping endlessly. The soul grows through awareness, but here on Earth, we're taught that remembering or knowledge is forbidden and that there is consequences for that. So, how do we escape? We have to remember that what we call life is a kind of simulation or a holographic illusion controlled by parasitic manipulative forces. They are the true cause of suffering and evil, not a specific group of people, not a politician or a specific religion or belief system. Those are all controlled opposition, forced distraction tactics designed to steer you away from seeing the truth. And the truth is that the true source of evil comes from these entities that exist outside of our normal field of perception. After death, souls are often coerced into a cycle of reincarnation by these entities using fake light tunnels, fake life reviews, and emotional manipulation to trick souls into returning to Earth and staying stuck in the matrix. And to escape the soul trap, we have to choose knowledge and reject that manipulation. And we have to remember that we are not here to be the perfect human. We are here to remember that it is possible to outgrow being human entirely if that's what you want. However, let me be clear about one thing. Trying to exit the game early by unaliving yourself doesn't break the cycle, and if anything, it reinforces it. And this is because the world isn't a world of physicality. It is a holographic simulation. And when the soul is vibrating at the level of pain or hopelessness, your frequency drops. And in the metaphysical laws that were created by these entities or these archons, low frequency has its consequences if we're not self-aware enough. When you are in a low vibrational or low emotional state, should I say, the soul doesn't have enough energy to propel itself away from the Earth and into elsewhere. And that's exactly what the archons want. They feed off of low vibration, and what they will do is they will recycle the soul into a similar or maybe even a more painful situation because they have found something that triggers you and they want to take advantage of that. So I know that some of you might not want to hear that, especially if you're going through a really hard time or something like that. But the only real escape from this specific trap comes from transcendence and not from avoidance. But maybe, just maybe, the fact that you found this video and that you're interested in this information means that it is your final round. And maybe you won't come back here to suffer or to repeat the same cycles because you're finally remembering that better realities exist and better dimensions are real. And you, especially if you're still watching, are ready to reach them.